Hello, everybody. This is Alex Aquarius. Welcome to the YouTell Me show. It's about you coming in the chat, commenting, and telling me what to talk about. And then hopefully, eventually, what we'll do is we'll collect people who would like to come on the show and talk with me on a Zoom call. And we can start interviewing people and we can start talking about their experiences in paranormal activities, alien experiences, near death experiences, um, attacks, the sleep paralysis or being stuck to your bed. And then on the bright side, on the heavenly side, we can talk about heavenly experiences. Anybody have any experiences with answers to prayers? And we'll end with a prayer. If I don't start to end with a prayer, remind me, please. But that's the goal of this broadcast, is to always end with a prayer. So let's, what I like to do is review what I've been YouTubing during the day. Right now, I'm retired and disabled. I usually spend most of my day on YouTube watching things, unless I have doctor's appointments or can't think of much else, unless I'm doing errands or doing cleanups or doing something outside, or I go somewhere or get out. But lately I've had a lot of time to watch YouTube. So what I thought I would do is I just watch whatever's in my algorithm and I save them and I stack them up for the show in the evening, and I'll go through them. So I'd like to walk you through what I've been through on today. If you're in the chat, please comment. I'm going to try to set up and look at how many viewers are in the chat right now. So let's do that. Let's start with that. I think if you can see my screen, let me start the capture. There's a setting on my OBS on the studio that I use, that there's a capture that captures the screen there. And I always have to go back and keep restarting it so that it's catching it. But if I can see the mouse moving on the screen when I'm in Chrome, then that means it's working. So let's go back and I will restart it. What I'm looking for is there. See, it stopped again so fast. What made it stop? Okay, there. See, I can see the cursor. When I'm in OBS, I see the cursor on the Windows screen, and you see my cursor. If that's moving, then it hasn't frozen. If it freezes, then please comment and tell me, and I'll go back and I'll restart it. I tried to lower the bit rate. I've been changing some settings in what's called the video encoder, and I've tried different types of video encoders, and I'm going to get it right. But that's about the only thing I have left to get this thing running smoothly, is that. Plus, I want to begin to learn how to use my let me go to my first scene here. I want to learn how to use my other computer, my desktop that's right behind me. I have my laptop computer here, and then I use my desktop computer. It's just off. I'm not using it. I have the mouse and my keyboard behind it, so I could look up things or use it to monitor other things as I get more sophisticated. But this is only my third or fourth stream tonight in a row. I'm trying to do this every night around midnight. It may be a little after midnight. I'm not sure. It depends on whatever I'm doing. I have some meds that I have to take every 6 hours. So I take them at 12 and 6 and 12 and 6 and 12 and 6. So I thought I would start broadcasting every night around midnight. I think there are people, if they're like me, they're up and they're browsing through the algorithm of YouTube when it's quiet at night. And some of these people are night owls, like me. I get my sleep through the day, like 3 hours here, 3 hours there, 2 hours, and another hour. I get it all split up. I haven't had 8 hours solid sleep in one setting Gosh, I never did anyway before April of 2022. I usually always slept like 6 hours, 6.5 hours, sometimes 7 hours. But the most sleep I've gotten, I think, in a straight period since 2022, in the last 3.5 years, is about 5 hours. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So let's make sure that we still have the cursor going. When I go to the other scene, okay, there, I still see the cursor. Now, what did I see today? This is Melanie King. Melanie King has a podcast where she covers things. She goes through Twitter or X. But Fulton County just admitted that 315,000 early votes from 2020 election were illegally certified, but were nonetheless still included in the final results of that election. Do you know what that means, folks? I think Joe Biden won the election over Trump by 11,000 votes. So this right here would seal the deal to say that Joe Biden's presidency was fraudulent, and that would entitle Donald Trump to run for another term. So we'll see what happens. What do you think? Do you think Donald Trump could run for another term? Do you think he should run for another term? But it's very interesting because, for real, if the county, let me show you what she's saying here.
November 2020 election, counting hundreds of thousands of votes, even though polling workers failed to sign off on the vote tabulation tapes critical to the certification process. So that is what is coming out of this. But also, that's wild, right? Just that number, because Biden won by just a little bit over 11,000 votes in the state. 11,000. Okay. So this is a huge number when you see that. Like, what are they going?
That would put Trump's win way over the top, from those 11,000 votes that got Biden allegedly the win. Many people were hip to this. If you looked at the inauguration, it was so fake. Did you notice that no one was filmed in front of the Capitol where he was sworn in? And if you actually were watching how they set it up, they had the streets fenced off with portable fencing around the first block around the Capitol, and then the second block around there were like 2 rings of impenetration where you couldn't come near the inauguration. And they only had a small group of people that were right there on the television cameras as they filmed it. And it was very odd because no one could be near it. Some people even speculated that the entire presidency was false whenever he was in the White House even, and that he wasn't really in there. So, see, I need to go restart my capture now. Let's go do the restart. Okay. Let me show you the next video I was looking at. This is a guy named Michael Farrer Jr.
I was going to select my speakers. I could do that right here.
He tells you how to set up your studio, and he goes through how to set up sound and different devices in your stream and how to make it look good. And let me go back to here, for instance.
Alternatively, if you want to tweak various settings, you can click on the settings button down here in the bottom right-hand corner, and then go on to the output. Then you can select recording, and you can change some settings here. And if you want full control, you can also click on advanced up here on the top, and then select recording. But of course, once again, using the auto configuration wizard is by far the easiest way to get going. The last thing I want to do while we're already in settings is go ahead and click on the audio tab. Then under global audio devices, I'm just going to make sure.
I'm trying to figure out what settings work, and they tell you, monkey around with it until you get it to work. And I still just have that one problem. I still see the cursor moving, so we're still good. What else did I get into? This is Bad Brad. This is a guitar player that I watch. He's got a new channel. He's got 25,000 subscribers. And this guy has been a guitar player for almost 40 years. He started on the Sunset Strip and then he moved to Nashville. But he's worked with famous artists as a touring musician on the tour bus. And he gives videos about what it was like on the tour bus. And he starts out his videos with some really nice rippage on his guitar as he goes through, and he's improvising. And he's just awesome when he does it. But right here, he's found out that there's a new CEO of Fender. Fender Guitars also owns, I think, Charvel, and a couple of other guitar brands. But most people that play guitar, like I do, I play a Telecaster. Most people either have a Stratocaster or a Telecaster. I've had both. I played a Gibson Les Paul. I found it to be too heavy. I love the sound of it and the sustain. But even over the Stratocaster, my favorite guitar now is the Telecaster. And I've got a Telecaster. I've got the Pro Player, which has a humbucker, and it's got the lipstick pickup at the neck, and it's got the Stratocaster pickup in the middle, and a 5-way switch. So it's an unusual Telecaster with a lot of options. It does not have what guitar players know as the ashtray bridge at the bottom. Mine has actually the Stratocaster bridge on it, but it's a Telecaster with a 5-way switch. And let me see if I can show it to you. I don't have it plugged in or anything now, but if you look on mine, do you see my pickup array down there? Uh-oh, it's going to disappear. Look at that. I have a Stratocaster bridge, a humbucker in the back, a Stratocaster pickup in the middle, and then that silver pickup in the front near the wood. That's called the lipstick pickup because it looks like a little lipstick container. And that's the pickup that gives you that sweet, woody, mellow country guitar sound that a lot of guitar players get when they're playing the Stratocaster. It's a very recognizable sound. You can recognize when people are playing with that guitar over, let's say, a Gibson Les Paul, because they don't get that sound. It's a very mellow, sweet sound on a lot of guitars. But a lot of times you want a hard, crunchy sound or more of a rock flavor, and you want that double pickup in the back. But anyway, this guy, the new CEO of Fender started watching his videos. And he got contacted by the guy, and they've been talking by telephone. And Brad is mentioning now that they're going to come up with a project. So this guy's getting recognized, and musicians, and probably people like Rick Beato, who's really popular on YouTube. He's got like 5 million subscribers, who interviews everybody. He's probably watching this guy too. And the CEO of Fender. And they want to do something together. And Brad says it's going to be an announcement in the future. And we're going to see what they're going to do. Watch this.
Almost just going to continue working on the path that I was working on. And I'm thanking God now that I did. I'm thanking God that I put the time into making that video and that assessment. And realizing that, man, this is probably, it's amazing. Look, at the beginning of the year, I thought to myself, I'd really like to work with one of the big 3 companies. I'd really like to establish a connection with Fender or Gibson or PRS, right? And as I grow this channel, I knew that would eventually happen, right? I knew that I would eventually get their attention, but I did not think it would happen this quickly, and I did not think that it would be immediately at the top. It's kind of like the equivalent of having Paul Reed Smith, reach out. I don't even, Paul Reed Smith is not even the CEO or COO of PRS anymore. He's the founder, right? And here it is, man, this little channel, the little channel that could reach the top of the corporate ladder at Fender. And he's listening, and he's out there, and he's passionate about guitars. And there's going to be something amazing that's going to come to this channel that I'm going to unveil for everybody. I'm not going to give it away all now. But here's the moral. Here's sort of the lesson learned here. First of all, when something in your mind tells you to do something, don't blow that off. When something in your consciousness says, hey man, you need to go do this, you need to go practice, or you need to go write a song, or you need to go check on your friend who's not doing that great, or if you need, when you get these internal feelings of doing something, do them.
Yeah, that's great. I'm happy for him. And if you play guitar, it's exciting to find out that they're going to have something happening. You know, the Fender is a big brand. They have like a premier store in Japan where they just sell guitars in Japan in a big shop, and they actually make some of their guitars. My guitar that I just showed you, mine's actually made in China, where they contracted with the Chinese. And my guitar is very unusual to have a humbucker, a Strat pickup, and the lipstick pickup with a 5-way switch that combines them in different orders. But I still have that Telecaster sound, and I can get the rock sound. This would be a workhorse if I was playing gigs in local scenes. This would be the guitar that you would want to have, the one that I have. So I like it. I don't play it as much as I used to. I'm usually too busy, and I've had to be in bed. I've had some wounds that have to heal, so I've been bedridden, and so that's why I'm watching a lot of YouTube. But let's see what's next. Let me show you this guy. If you ever seen Sailing Doodles with this guy named Bobby. Bobby has a sailboat. He's been around YouTubing, I think, with this for about 9 years. He was an airline pilot, commercial pilot, and he had a brain aneurysm. And he lost his ability. He survived all that, and he's fine, but he lost his ability to fly. He's not allowed to fly anymore. So what he does now is he immediately sold everything, bought a sailboat, and started sailing around the world. And now he hires crew, and they go on his show. His YouTube channel is called Sailing Doodles. But he also started another channel called Glamping Doodles, where he's bought a big RV. And he just bought a bigger RV, and he bought one from Camping World in Texas, my hometown. I live near Katy, Texas, where he bought this thing. It's in the Houston area on the west side. But he bought this RV, and within a week or 2 weeks, he wasn't even able to use it. The engine started breaking down. It was overheating, problems with the oil, lights coming on the dashboard every day. And he was working on it, and he had a bill for like $6,000, and the Camper World stepped in from corporate and helped him pay all but like $2,400 of it. But then they stepped in, and they allowed him to trade in for a nicer, newer RV. Let's look what he's doing there. He's giving a tour of his RV.
I didn't film for a while. Let me tell you what's going on here. All right, so I bought this 2012 RV from Camping World in Nashville. Literally, I think I did film that. Drove it off the lot. It broke down. Ended up being researched it. So the exhaust gas recycler, whatever cooler thing, it uses coolant to cool the exhaust before it goes into the diesel particulate filter, and it failed. And so it was shipping coolant out the exhaust, which thankfully it didn't try to do a regen. So what happens on the diesel particulate filter, it'll regen. I don't know exactly how it works. It kind of burns off all the crap in there, right? Well, luckily, if it had tried to do a regen while all that coolant was in the filter, it would have been really bad. But thankfully, it didn't. Parked it, got a tow to the shop. They gave me an estimate $6,700 to fix it. Thankfully, I will say Camping World stepped up. They paid $4,000 towards it. So I did have to pay out of pocket $2,700 to fix it. They were supposed to have it fixed in a weekend or something like that. And then by the time, so I went to West Power. They were great guys, honestly. But there was something, it was like the kit was weird or something like that. It took them an extra bit of time to fix it, like an extra 3 days to fix it. Then
and he bought a Bronco.
I got the Wild Tracks. It's got the big wheels and tires. It's got, you know, the steps, and it's got the more off-roady stuff. It's really pretty looking. It's got the nice paint job. And the good thing about a Bronco is that you can flat tow it, so you don't need to do anything special like get a, you know, you don't have to have a, you know, car dolly or anything like that. If you get it with the correct bumper, it's got this modular bumper where you can just hook up your tow bar right here with it. We just put an adapter in there, and it will tow it. There are a couple things you need to do in the
sailing channel's been doing really well.
In the computer itself to tell it, hey, you're in flat tow mode.
And,
you know,
he's doing so well. He's got the glamping channel.
It's pretty nice. They got the leather seats and the big, you know, infotainment center. And it was a lot of searching. I wanted very specific items on this.
And he's got
on this Bronco, you know, I wanted the big wheels and tires. You know, I wanted leather seats, the two-tone, and the big infotainment center. This one has a little more miles on it than I wanted. It's 2023. It has 45,000 miles, but it's in really good condition. The only thing it did not have was the upgraded sound system, so I did that myself. So you can see I've replaced, it comes with the smaller pods. It has like 4-inch speakers. So I replaced the pods with 6-inch speakers, and then I added a subwoofer here. I think it's really cool. It just, you know, it bolts into the tailgate, and the little, what is that? Doesn't make it easy. One thing that was a minor gripe on this RV was just how tight the spaces are when the slides are fully compressed. You know, when the slides are out, it's really, you know, wide through here, but man, when these slides are in, it's hard to get through. You can hardly even open the refrigerator, and to get, you can't even get at this back bathroom without climbing over the bed. So you got to use this little half bath.
That's Jim Sailing Doodles. That's his major channel, Sailing Doodles. He's on the side when he's not sailing. In off seasons, he's doing the glamping. Let's see what I did next. First, let's see if anybody's in the chat. I don't see anybody in the chat yet. I don't even know if I have any views. Some of you are seeing these right after I stop the stream, and you're getting to see them afterwards, and that's great. I've got a few views, and I just started out. So it is coming up in the algorithm. I even saw where it came up in my algorithm when I hit the logo and I came up with the videos. Mine was the first one on top left. That it said coming up today or tonight, you know. And so it's putting pressure on me, the algorithm, to do my own video. But it's already coming up in my own algorithm, my own show. This, if you knew about the NASCAR driver Greg Biffle, who had an airplane accident, they found out more about the airplane that he had, which was a Citation. And they think what happened was his whole family died, him, his wife, his son, and his daughter. They were flying down to Florida to go to a race, to a couple of different races, and visit a friend. And as soon as they took off, they think they lost an engine on the right side. And they think what happened was over here on the right of the nose of the airplane is where you store the luggage. And the luggage door might have come open and something might have come out and flew back into the engine. So right as they did that, but the visibility was low and the clouds were they only had like a 1,200-foot ceiling, which could have actually been lower than that with fog and mist. And it was really thick and dense, and I think you couldn't get above it until you got to like 10,000 feet. So, and they were flying from an airport that did not have a tower. So there wasn't any help to do the navigational equipment to get you back right centered on the runway in the fog where you can't see. They crashed 1,800 feet short of the runway. But they had the gear down, the flaps down and the gear down, and they're saying that maybe if they had not put the gear down until the last minute, they probably would have made it to the runway. But there are so many things going on in the cockpit that it's hard to say. The NTSB, National Transportation Safety
When you're in that cockpit and something's not right,
won't
words
have an
tell a
answer
different
on this
story.
crash until
Quote,
probably, usually
we're
a
getting
year
everything
after.
going. We're getting our gear down.
That's the
End
wreckage.
quote.
The fireball.
That's not
wreckage
normal
actually
radio
wound
phraseology.
up right on the runway.
Here's the
even though
critical
they
part.
landed
Drag.
1,800
But when
feet
you're
short.
slow with high drag, you can get behind the power curve. You need more thrust just to maintain altitude, and even more to climb. If you're already at high power settings, maybe because you've lost an engine or you're at maximum weight, there's no reserve left. You're operating at the
The
edge of the
airplane
envelope
that
with
he just
no
showed,
margin for error. The witness
they
accounts
say
are
that the
particularly
plane
telling.
is that plays really big planes, but when he was flying Greg Biffle's plane, that little citation, they said it's very slow to speed up. So you have to save your energy and get it gliding, get it going at power. And if you slow down, you can't just put on the thrusters and it doesn't just take off real fast. They call it a pig or a flying brick sometimes. And so it was unfortunate that they were in fog at an airport with no tower in that type of plane, and the retired airline pilot was trying to pull up the thrust at the last minute, and the engines just didn't have it. It's such a tragedy. If you watch Greg Biffle's channel, he was doing a YouTube channel and with his son all the time, and his wife and his daughter, and they would work on equipment and build cars and dune buggies and work on. Every Friday he would go on Facebook and buy vehicles from people on Facebook. But so there are a lot of reports on the pilot debriefing channels that I kind of keep up with. It comes up. This, if you ever watched, has anybody heard of German in Venice? I found this guy in California who's from Germany, but he moved to the United States because his neighbor's man was married to a woman from the United States from Minnesota. So she invited him to go and spend a summer in Minneapolis so that he could mow her yard with a big tractor. So he got permission from his mom, and he went to the United States. But anyway, he wound up now in California, in Venice Beach. The guy's like 57 years old now, and he's got almost 500,000 subscribers, and he just every day he goes around Hollywood, he goes around LA, he goes around Venice Beach, and he's made some trips to Florida. He goes to Disneyland. He's kind of he's into movies and historical sites in the movies, where people like where Jim Morrison stood on an album cover and things like that. But he found in this display in this art museum, a display, if you've ever been to LA, there are a couple of towers that are unfinished and they have graffiti all over them. And there was an artist that made a little scale model of these towers with the graffiti.
This is where the former Staples Center used to be.
And it's really, really detailed. So,
look at this giant dog here.
But I thought that was interesting. This guy, the German in Venice, he'll find things like this and just drive to them.
I really want to know
being displayed.
How the guy got all the graffiti on here. Like I said, is it laser printed on the glass or? This is just insane. The work you put into this, probably thousands of hours. This guy wrote his name here, then he walked down the stairs, put the next letter, went down here, next letter, next letter, next letter, and the further you go away, you can read his whole name.
It was started by a company out of...
And those are the elevators where they bring up all the stuff.
They ran out of money after spending billions of dollars, and the towers were never completed. Big companies.
Man.
Those are the elevators on the side.
The graffiti and every single detail about the entire complex.
You know how many times I drove here with my little bike?
Honestly, this stuff
to record this building.
I would never spend that much time building a piece of art to scale. That much detail. The way he did the graffiti was he actually took photographs, I think with a drone. And
what do you think? Pretty cool stuff, huh?
Printed somehow where he could put the right on his artwork, so they're exact. I mean, the paper.
I in particular came down just to see this building here. And I've been here already like 30 minutes just looking at all the little detail. I love it. So the guy... And all this are the Charlie Chaplin standing right here. But I want to show you something else too, but check this out. There's a picture of Charlie Chaplin standing right here in front of that doorway. And all this are the Charlie Chaplin, or used to be the Charlie Chaplin studios. Live animals were brought in right here, like elephants when when they were filming. Right across the street, this place here used to be also studios.
This is the kind of stuff he does. Every time you watch
And
him,
showing you a little bit over here. They used to have bungalows here where Charlie Chaplin used to live. The whole European-looking building used to be Charlie Chaplin Studios. You can see this built.
Like, what do they call those tattoos that come off? Henna. He did like henna tattooing, and he sold souvenirs. And he ran this little shop on the beach, and he sold it last year. He just popped up in my algorithm. I've been watching him. What else do we have? Oh, does anyone remember Elizabeth Smart? Hold on a second. Elizabeth Smart, the woman, the girl that was abducted by the guy in Salt Lake City, she has a YouTube channel. Let me unfreeze this. Okay. This woman, Elizabeth Smart, her YouTube channel, I think she has like 16,000 subscribers. She was the one that was kidnapped in Salt Lake City, and when they found her, she'd been kidnapped by this man that dressed like Jesus and went downtown in Salt Lake and begged. Do you remember that? And his wife's name was Barzy. And they had her for 9 months, and they had her in a white robe tunic with a mask over her face in public, and brazenly dragged her around in public. And then they would hike up. She's going to show where they were. And it was quite a hike up into this canyon from downtown where they would go every night, where they would sleep. And she's actually showing, the guy actually married her, quote unquote. He actually R-worded her, but with Barzy, he called her his second wife, even though she was only, I don't remember her age. She was a minor, very young. But she's brave, now she's actually going there and showing you.
That was true, or that was possible. I wouldn't say the idea really ever took root, but I'd say that I suppose there were probably times where I was like, is it possible? But I think I always came back to no.
Because it's just pure evil.
Yeah.
At its core.
Didn't he try kidnapping your cousin?
Yeah, he totally did.
Did he tell you before he was going to go kidnap your cousin, or after he came back?
No, he told me before. I mean, I felt guilty because I was the one who had talked about her.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed to talk about my family, and I wasn't allowed to talk about my life prior to him kidnapping me. The one time he let me, I did, and then when he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kidnap her now," I was like, "What have I done?"
Oh, that's the last thing you would talk about, think that he was going to go do. I'm sure it was a good memory.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. Can you see this?
Technical difficulties.
They were living
I
up this
felt
canyon trail
guilty because there was another side of me that was like, I would like a friend here with me. I would like not to be alone.
With these freaking
with
creeps.
These monsters. He did actually try to kidnap another girl while we were in California, but he wasn't successful with her either.
Oh my gosh. You hiked down this in a dress.
I know.
Oh, you're brave. Thank you.
She's a survivor.
She is a survivor.
Those ones aren't that pokey.
Oh boy, we're in for a treat, huh? Going back to the first days that we saw him, I always thought he worked at the house for just a couple days. I didn't think it was a week, was it?
Dad said one day.
Okay, and that's kind of what I thought too.
Yeah.
That's why I never suspected him.
He only worked at your house one day?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Which is why it's incredible I could even connect him.
Yep.
Yeah, because it was Mare's.
Yeah, she connected. Too. I mean, I connected it who it was the night I was kidnapped. And Mary Catherine, she connected it. What it was September, October?
Yeah, halfway through, wasn't it?
She would have been
10?
9, 10.
How long were you captive before she remembered?
4 months, I'd guess. 4 or 5 months.
So over a year of her seeing him once, did she remember that it was him?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's kind of a story, right?
Yeah.
Because she was going through a Guinness Book of World Records, and she came across
California.
Well, we rode the Greyhound.
Did she like going to the parties?
I mean, I don't think she really liked it because I think it just like made her feel like more responsibility was put on her, because like he was there like getting drunk, he was like smoking weed. Yeah, it just put more like responsibility on her to like make sure nobody got near me.
Were you ever like try to annoy him and be like, dude, if you're so into Jesus and God and stuff, why are you doing all the drugs?
Oh, he had a whole line of reasoning for that.
Did it help
God
him
just
think
needs
clearly?
to show us that like we're nothing. This is his way of like humbling us. But I just want to have a peek up here because I know at one point we kind of turned off. I think this is actually, yeah.
This is the right place?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but you can see like this green thing tied on here.
You remember that from before?
No, but I have a sneaking suspicion like maybe like the police or the FBI marked it as part of the trail. I could be wrong. It could be nothing.
So this was one of those landmarks for you essentially when coming up the trail.
Yeah, like you can see right there, someone's had a fire there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's been there since your 20 years?
Yeah.
That's been there since 20 years.
Yeah. We are mostly out of the ditch now, so that's good news. We'll come to a bigger group of trees where like you can see the remnants of like an old stove that's like rusted through and someone's like taking a BB gun to.
Okay, yeah.
And then after that we'll get up to the spring.
And so would you say, is this the quarter of the way left or halfway mark?
Probably half, yeah.
Okay.
I always like expected, like I didn't actually realize how far away we were, how difficult like the hike to get to where we was, because the night I was taken, I was like so hyped full of adrenaline that like distance just did not like measure in my brain.
Yeah.
When he was taking you, did it feel a lot longer to get there or a lot shorter?
It felt a lot shorter. I mean, like I remember like I was taken in the dark and like we crossed like the top of these mountains as the sun was coming up.
Wow.
Like I knew it was like a couple hours, but again, like time just didn't compute.
When you were captive, did you ever hear a helicopter?
Yes. I mean, it was like close enough that like the trees and the tent was shaking, but like he had like pulled me inside the tent. So I mean, it's not like they would have seen me or anything.
Was that the lower camp or was
No,
that
it was the upper camp, yeah. During the trial or after the trial, like one of the FBI agents was like, yeah, do you want to come with us when we go like tear it down? And I was like, yeah, I'll come with you. He's like, you want to hold the chainsaw? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. But then I don't know if it ever happened or not.
Old soda can.
I definitely was not drinking soda. So it's not mine.
Did he ever set up like strings with bells on it or anything to warn him that people are around camp?
No, but I don't know that he'd really need to. I mean, we're not exactly being quiet ourselves coming through here.
Go and check out.
Oh, sure, with the leaves.
This is all familiar.
Is this the stinging metal field?
Nope.
So when you actually did do this hike,
that just popped up in my algorithm today. Let's see what else I have for you. Oh, this came up about Walmart. There's a self-checkout trap. If you go to the self-checkout, there are people who are stealing and they get in trouble.
Do not use self-checkout. I do not want to be accused of something like that again.
She's not the only shopper we spoke to who says they were falsely accused of shoplifting and even detained after using a self-checkout machine.
I didn't want to.
There are people like this woman who, let's say they're at self-checkout, they're running things, they have them all, it beeps and it shows everything's on their receipt and they show their receipt. But they still take them in the back, they handcuff them, they detain them, they put charges on them, they have to go to court. I think this woman won $2.1 million, or it was another woman. But you have to be careful at the self-checkout lanes because like the screen says right now, one mistake can land you in jail. And I never knew.
And how much money, hundreds of millions of dollars, they make from basically saying to people, suing them, they just sue. Then they send you a letter saying, we'll drop the lawsuit if you pay us some money. And it's not that much money they want. but they do it at scale. And it does make you wonder, is this a pattern? Is this part of their business model? We're just going to try to shake people down for money. Problem was, he wasn't stealing, and it turned his life upside down.
On the internet, and were you stealing items, and then I have to explain to people what I'm doing.
Astle even has receipts that show he was working in Walmart that day, and he's now trying to clear his name and get his life back to normal.
This guy was a delivery man.
That stinks. So these self-checkouts are an
that guy that was just talking, he was a delivery guy.
They just need to scan their phone into self-checkout and then bag the items.
Here it is.
And yet, when he did that last
all he had
month,
to do is scan his
Thing
phone,
is done
grab
off
the goods, and
the
hit his
phone.
car.
So when we get to the register, we're not actually scanning a single item.
He says when they get to the register, they just need to scan their phone into self-checkout and then bag the items. And yet, when he did that last month, he was unknowingly being filmed.
Millions and millions of views.
The video is on every major social media platform, from TikTok to Instagram to YouTube and over to Twitter X, which says it's been viewed nearly 16 million times on that platform alone. It's led to people calling him a thief online, even reaching out to the Battlehawk saying, please control your fans, and others saying, Ka isn't the law for him.
I've had customers say, hey, didn't I see you on the internet, and were you stealing items, and then I have to explain to people what I'm doing.
Astle even has receipts that show he was working in Walmart that day, and he's now trying to clear his name and get his life back to normal.
That stinks. So these self-check taking the sticker off of one item in the store and put it on your more expensive item.
Yeah, there are people who switch the barcode. This woman was caught, but she'd actually been doing it continuously.
You see all the surveillance cameras back there. So I want you to watch what happens.
And they know they're doing it.
Okay, no.
But they don't
You've done this multiple times.
For small
you
items,
obviously,
or if it's essential
you just
needs,
got
like if you're stealing
They're admitting to
food
stealing at a
and
Walmart
diapers
recently,
and
and she just got busted at a
They
Target
won't stop
bowl or
it.
something, and
But
putting
she
it
would-
onto
what they
like
call
big
non-essential
expensive
goods. If
items.
you're stealing
So on
non-essential
camera,
in the bowl. She didn't scan a TV.
This is
so
the woman
immediately
that
red
won
flags are going up for her, and she's flagging me down because she's like, I need help. I don't want to do the confrontation part.
Hold on,
I don't want to confront. Yeah, so do you see what's happening here? The shopper took the sticker off a 50-cent plastic bowl in the store and put it onto the TV, and then she scanned the TV. And she's like, I'm getting away with it because I am scanning. I mean, let the camera show it. No. They had an immediate alert, and I want to continue playing what happened. You're about to see the confrontation happen, or hear about the confrontation that's about to happen. And there are some little hacks in here about how they know and what they do when they think you're stealing. So if this ever happens to you at the self-checkout, they suspect you of stealing. They don't come out and say it, but they do a little something. Here, play the rest of that clip for it.
Sometimes they'll keep a record and then just ban
What's
you
wrong?
from the
And she's
store.
like, look at the screen, and it says like 50-cent plastic bowl, and she's pointing to the TV, and she's like, she scanned the TV. Well, first things first, there's serial numbers on the TVs, so.
First of all, how could you switch a sticker from a 50-cent plastic bowl and put it on a 40-inch TV and not get caught by the cashier? She would have to be asleep. They got to handle that big box in here. Let me reach the barcode and get the extension cable and scan it. And then she looks at the screen. It says 50 cents. And she goes, okay, you're good. Bye. I don't even know how that one happened. I have no idea. It just doesn't seem feasible.
So the fact that the self-checkout did not prompt for a serial number is also a red flag for us. I take the handheld and I shut her self-checkout down because they can do that. And if you're ever in line at self-checkout and your self-checkout just shuts down, we did that. I don't work at Walmart anymore, but Walmart did that. The self-checkout host or the team leads or whoever shut you down because they know you're stealing, and they're like, I just want you to know that I just saw that. So I shut her register down and I go over and I'm like, hey, our self-checkout
She's
just
an
clicked.
employee telling you how they do it. Where was the woman who got the settlement? Not her. It was a white woman. I always go through. Have you ever noticed on YouTube where if you put the cursor over the red bar, it shows you the humps where people rewind, the most viewed spots? Okay, there's that guy.
a shoplifter just for using self-checkout. And then we'll keep playing this. Look at the letter she got in the mail from Walmart.
She continued to receive demand letters from a Walmart-affiliated law firm offering to drop the matter if she paid them $200.
At first you think, oh, well, I'll pay it and then it'll all go away. But then I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. Why would I pay for something that I didn't do?
But it turns out many people do. During testimony in the lawsuit she filed against the company, an expert testified Walmart routinely uses what are known as civil recovery laws in many states to get people they've accused of shoplifting to pay up. University of Nebraska assistant law professor Ryan Sullivan, who has studied the practice, testified that in a 2-year period, Walmart charged some 1.4 million people across the country with criminal theft of property and ended up collecting more than $300 million through their civil demand letters in the same period. The lawsuit nurse filed against Walmart charged the company with abusive process, meaning the company used the criminal charges to bolster their chances of civil recovery.
Exactly, that they prosecute her solely for the purpose of getting what they call civil recovery on money.
To add insult to injury, Walmart never produced a video that would have been recorded at the self-checkout area that would have proved nurse shoplifted or didn't.
It would have shown the truth, and that they didn't want the truth to be shown.
At the end of this lawsuit, filed in 2018 and delayed by the COVID pandemic, a unanimous jury found for nurse and awarded her $2.1 million in punitive damages.
I hope it makes a difference.
Can you imagine that? I don't know how Walmart is going to spend time going after these people when they've got the staff, the security staff, all that equipment, the surveillance equipment in all the stores, the court costs of the lawyers, each one having to go to each courthouse and handle each case, and then to write a letter to collect $200. It doesn't seem like a very cost-efficient way to do things. And when they're talking about, hey, if they collected $314 million, was it, from these people? Well, how much did they spend? Over $1.5 billion over that time period? It doesn't make sense. The numbers don't add up to me as they tell this story. Like, why is Walmart even doing it this way? When you got to spend 4 times the money to get it all through court, or even get these people to pay with a demand letter and say, hey, that's like, I had a friend that used to gamble all the time down in Bolivia, my distributor in Santa Cruz. And there was a casino in his town. He used to go to it like 3 times a week. And I went with him a few times when I was down there. And he would put down on the chips and play roulette table and lose $200, $300, $400. I think he did it just when I was visiting to show me that he had money. And he'd go, next time maybe I'll win. And then one time I called him on the phone, and he goes, guess what? I won $500 last night. I was like, wow, you did? Yeah, he goes, can you believe that? I'm so happy. And the dude probably loses thousands and thousands a month. He was throwing away. That was back in the 90s when I used to go down to Santa Cruz, Bolivia. That is a secret. Men, gentlemen, if you're watching this video, buy an air ticket and go to Santa Cruz, Bolivia, and stay at the Los Tajibos Hotel and Resort. If you're in that part of town and you're in beautiful people there, beautiful people, it will amaze you. They actually have the Miss Latina, the Latina American Miss Universe pageant contestants. They go to Santa Cruz, Bolivia to train. And there's a school there called Gloria. But that's where they train, like how to walk the runway, how to speak, how to answer the questions, how to dress, how to do the whole show and the etiquette of it. And they can also work as models, and if you hire models, and they have a website. Well, maybe I'll cover that on my show. But my jaw was on the ground when I was in Santa Cruz, Bolivia. You wouldn't think so. When you hear Bolivia, you think of the women with the braided hair and the cholo hats on, or the bolo hat, the old British, what is that called, like the derby hat that they adopted from the people that came over. That's where they got it. They got it from the Europeans, the British, I think, that came over and visited Chile, and the women love the hats, and that's what they wear today. Okay, what's the next video on here? Oh, I saw this
legal
video
strategy.
I've seen it before.
But here's the most embarrassing part of the whole disaster. The part that really hurts the rock and roll soul. While the lawsuit was heating up in 2023, Mick decided to fight the PR war, started going to the press, gave interviews to Variety and Rolling Stone where he didn't just complain about the money, he actually attacked the band's integrity. Basically told the world that Motley Crue was a sham. Specifically, Mick claimed that the band was faking their live shows. And folks, there is definitely enough video up on YouTube to possibly back that claim. But he called out Nikki Sixx directly, saying the bass player didn't play a single note on the entire U.S. tour, was just pantomiming to pre-recorded tracks. He accused Nikki of gaslighting him about his own guitar playing, telling Mick he was forgetting chords when
I was a few years above the Motley Crue scene in the sense, I was already in college and married when Motley Crue came out and was super big. So I didn't really have time to just headbang. My wife was not into headbanging, my ex-wife. But that's basically it. Those are my videos that I watched today. I don't see anybody that's been in the chat yet. But I'm going to keep plugging along. These videos get watched after I've done them. I've got a few views, and it should grow if I just keep doing it. It's already 1:28 a.m. This is a little bit longer. So I'm going to let you go. I remember we're going to pray, right? And a lot of times if you want to see these videos, just skip to the end, and you'll see me doing the prayer, okay? So let's do that. Father in heaven, please bless us, bless anyone who sees this video, listening to me chat about various things that come up in the internet, social media news. And we also see tragedies, and we see people in need. And please bless those people that are in need, that are going through legal troubles, against heavy odds, against opponents that do not work in straight fashion, let's say. Please bless people who are ill, who have problems with their bodies and sickness, and please help heal them and heal them. Please give us miracles, give them miracles. Anyone who's watching this, also pray. And this we pray, amen. All right, so that is the stream for tonight, folks. I will see you tomorrow night. I should be doing this every night around midnight if it just keeps going, and I should be improving as we do it. So please come back and watch. All right, over and out. Alex Aquarius.